Hey guys, this is Dave Witcher, President FFL Velocity. Welcome to Warrior Podcast, and I'm super excited today. And I've been watching Shannon. We actually text in these mornings and stuff. But Shannon Carpenter is with us today. I actually let him tell you about it. I just know he's been protecting a lot of families, doing some really cool stuff. And actually, we're gonna call him the TikTok wizard at this point. But no, Shannon, if you could just tell us like a little bit about your background, where you came from, how long you've been here, just so people kind of know who you are, that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, my background, I actually went to school for IT and psychology, and I don't use either one of those unless you consider sales and using a computer. But, my dad was a police officer, perfectly healthy, 53 years old. He fell off a chair, hit his head on the table, caused a massive heart attack, and he died. So
Oh,
2 years later, my mom was 42, I believe, and got breast cancer. And I watched her go through, 6 months of missed work, the double mastectomy, the reconstruction surgery, and all that. One of my IT customers was actually an insurance person that kept telling me, "You got to come work with us. You know everybody. You got a good personality. You do so good at this." And I kept saying, "Oh, thanks. I don't like insurance people. There's just people that bug you about that life insurance stuff." And I never wanted to do that. But when I saw what they did for my mother during that time of need, it's like a light bulb went off. And listen, I had a six-figure job. I had a company car, a company credit card. They paid for my gas, my oil, everything, even my benefits paid. I quit that job at a 100% chance of commission to go work for that company, and that was about 15 years ago. So over the course of the years, I've worked for a few different carriers, but a few different insurance companies. But I came to FFL, I believe, in January of 2021, and really just kind of was getting my feet wet. I started part time. I was doing it for a couple months, and I learned that I had a full time job that I had a commitment to. But nights, weekends, whatever, I was committed to seeing what I could do with Family First Life. And in that part time, I was making more money than I was with my full time job. So it just kind of made sense. I'm like, I, I'm gonna go full time with these guys and see how many more families I can help than what I'm already doing. So that's kind of how I got here.
well, we're super excited to have you. And it seems like I remember that. Like I don't know. You talk, you meet a lot of people, and I knew your name, and seen your face, and knew you were. And I'm not sure if we actually spoke. I know that when Neil, because you worked directly with Neil, I believe, and I remember him telling us about you. And I remember you were part time, like part time. He's doing good. But then now, over the last couple months, it's just been a different level for you. And then I'm like, what is he doing? And then I found out. And then, of course, we've been on a text thread, you, me, Eric, and Neil, and whatever, and just kind of watching you. But I didn't know that. Sorry to hear about your folks and what you had
Oh,
to go
thank you.
through there. Obviously, what we do matters. Now we even have the supplemental side with Cigna, which is cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's a
excited about that.
whole nother thing we can provide for people. That's the thing I love about FFL is just giving us all these opportunities to win and take care of people. So Shannon, what have you learned? I mean, obviously you're still here. You've been here a year and a half now, give or take, but you really just starting to hit your stride. Um, are you team building at all, or is it just what you're doing? Maybe share a little bit about that, and then what we'll do is we want to get into kind of what you've been doing the last couple of months. It's been really working for you.
Sure. You broke up there at the beginning, but I think you asked about team building. I've always been a top recruiter anywhere I've gone, and I believe that anybody that I can help better their life in any way, I'm all about it. And for me, it's not, one of my jobs at my last company, they wanted me to sit behind a computer five days a week and read resumes and talk to people online. That's just not how I do it. I'm out in the field. I'm talking to people, whether it's virtually over Zoom, phone call, whatever. You hear that voice that you just connect with, and that's the person I want to work with. It's like, in elementary school, you get to pick your own kickball team, right? I want to pick my team that I like. So I used to do this seminar, and I would have a couple people come up as scribes, and I would have the audience yell out what you look for, like what qualities do you look for when you go shopping for a person to work for you, like to work on your team, to recruit. What do you look for? And they yell out stuff like honest, hardworking, integrity, great personality, all these different things. Then I say, okay, in a 10-minute interview, I can put on a really nice suit. I can pretend to be something I'm not. What can you tell about me in 10 minutes? Can you tell if I'm hardworking? No. All right, scratch that off. Can you tell if I'm honest? I could be a con man. I could tell you I'm the most honest, ethical person on the planet. You don't know that. Scratch that off. So what we end up with usually is personality. I can tell if they're driven, I can tell if they're hungry, and I can tell if they have a good personality. So when I talk to people, like today, I talked to a guy. He went through some struggles in life. He's getting, his legs back under him. But man, just his personality. I thought if I could hire this dude and train him, I could totally change his life, and he can go help more people.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went good. I've already sent him licensing information, and he is starting tomorrow. He's getting his license out of the way. But so far, I think I have a
No
team of
doubts.
probably I've got a team of probably 30, 40 people right now, and there's probably 10 that actually are probably what I would say full time.
Hmm. And you're a senior sales manager going to VP quickly, right?
Right.
Yeah, I
Of
got your
course.
logo coming. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And so Shannon told you about his background. He had a little bit of experience, in other places, but ultimately, he cares about people. I think you mentioned life experience. I think when people are watching this, they're like, hey, is this the right place for me? Do I want to get in life insurance? Do I want to get in insurance as a whole? It's just remember what Shannon talked about. And if you research your own family, sometimes there's things around you that can say, you know what, that's why I want to do this. Because what we do matters, right? So let's talk about what you're doing now. You found TikTok. Did you ever know that TikTok could be a thing here? Social media could be as big as it is for you right now.
Now, so I got a lady that's going to watch this that's going to laugh at me, and I'll never live this down. But in 2019, she was on TikTok all the time. And like, I'm driving to our next appointment, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching TikTok videos. And she's like, you need to get on here. You'd love it. You'd have so much fun. I'm like, I don't have time for that child crap. I just don't. So, well, then, Rona hit. We can't really go out and do anything at the moment. I got bored. So I wound up on TikTok. All right. Now I have 8 channels now, but it kind of blew up from
Wow.
this. I had one channel, and I had I like to cook. I had some cooking videos. I race cars. I teach track racing. I had some of those videos on there. I do photography. I had some of those videos on there. Well, I thought I'm going to open a new channel on Christmas Day, and I called it The Naughty Boy. Don't Google it yet. It's Knotty. I teach people to tie ties, like bow ties and Merovingian
Nice.
knots and all that stuff. And it's because over the years, I've had so many people that have seen my knots at all these meetings, and they said, hey, can you like send me a video on how to do that? So I thought I'm gonna start like this little tutorial thing on TikTok. The next day I woke up, I had 34,000 followers and 2.6 million views. And I had an email
Isn't that
from
crazy?
TikTok. Said, we need your bank account and your routing number so we can pay you. And I'm like, hey, honey, look, TikTok's trying to steal my account. I just opened up and like I didn't know that that's how that worked. So anyway, once it kind of clicked in my brain that TikTok's algorithm likes specific genres. So I had one profile where I did just all kinds of stuff that was just all over the place. So I went and opened up a cooking channel separately. I went and opened up a financial channel separately, photography separately. And so far, like all those different channels have gone viral at some point. So with regard to FFL, I thought, well, I can use it for recruiting. I can use it for getting information out to people, and people are hungry. They're looking for information, especially right now. With markets crashing and stuff like that, they're losing money in whatever they have their money in. Typically, let's say a 401k, an IRA, stuff like that. Like they're losing money. So I just started, thinking, well, that golden question, right, is this is
Mhm.
one of the first things I ask people is, what do you have that acts like life insurance? And I think that's designed to be confusing because every time I ask that, they go, like that dog head tilt. And I think that's on purpose because when they do that, I fill in the blanks. I say, like an IRA, a 401k, a CD, God forbid you still have, one of those. But, and then they go, oh yeah, I've got a 401k. And I go, great. Well, how much did you lose in the last quarter? And they go, oh, I don't want to talk about
Wow.
it. I mean, I lost 20 grand, I lost 60 grand, whatever. And then I
Mhm.
play dumb really, really well. So I say, well, how much more do you want to lose? And they go, what? I'm like, yeah, how much more do you want to lose? And they're like, well, nothing. Like, well, then why is it still in that account? Because, there's other things out there you can put it into that probably will grow better, that are tax free You don't pay taxes on it. You can touch the money anytime at any age without a penalty. And you
Mm-hmm.
get a death benefit, you get critical, chronic, terminal illness, all these things built in, for free. Like with a 401k, if I say I'm going to give you $500 a month and I die tomorrow, what does my family get? There's no death benefit there. So whenever
Mm-hmm.
now their light bulbs are going off and their wheels are turning and they want more information. So anyway, I try to post most of my videos from an educational piece. I try not to make it sound salesy, like, hey, this is an index universal life policy. You need to buy one. It's good for everybody. It might not be. I need to talk to you
Mm-hmm.
first. And one of the biggest comments I get is, how do I get started? Or can you send me some information? I'm like, I've got 1,000 things I could send you, because we got 50 to 100 different companies that probably offer an IUL. They probably have 20 to 30 products a piece. They each can be structured 20 to 30 different ways. You multiply all that out. Like, goodness, I don't know what to send you yet, man. I gotta talk to you, have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and find out what you need and if I can help you. Sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
ramble a lot.
No, no, that's good. That's good. This is good information because people are watching, like, what is he talking about? So this is helping me understand too. The other thing is, and you just something to think about. Like you told me about your channels, you know more about than I do. But I was in a meeting one day, and a gal stood up, and she was talking about, you mentioned cooking, you mentioned photography, different things. She was also talking about from a recruiting perspective, because you're in that world, you could do that. So that's just a thought to throw your way, because those other channels actually could maybe, and you may be already doing this, I don't know. You may could actually recruit people from that if you throw in an extra income thing, or protecting their cooking business, protecting their whatever. Just a thought.
Yeah,
Again, I
it's
don't know
good.
how that works or how to lead that, but from an educational standpoint, if I was on a cooking channel, it'd be like, because that's your world. You're relating. Those are people that are in that world, so they're going to more likely work with you, right? I don't know.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, I don't know those couple things, but I could talk about something else, right? For me,
Sure.
that's just, I love insurance. That's what I talk about. But, and not that you're not, but I'm saying there might be some people that relate to you that will come here because you share that with them. Anyway, just a thought there
Yeah.
off
No,
track
definitely. That's
here.
good stuff.
And it made sense to me because she's like, hey, I'm in this world and I'm starting to expose people to this. And she was actually in our business. And she goes, it's all about it. Like she mentioned FFL, which we love FFL. It's not like we don't want to talk about FFL. But if you're on there and you're talking about insurance, or in your case, saving them money or protecting their money, you made money in cooking. Well, what are you doing with it, kind of thing. So anyway, just a thing.
Yeah.
But and if you need help with that, we get a bunch of us to help you. So
Awesome.
it's like, hey, take your team and whatever. So
Yeah.
Shannon, what have you over the last couple 2-3 months? I don't know specifically. I know 1 month it was like 60 families or so. It might have been more actually. But what are you averaging? Maybe per week, per month over the last couple months from the TikTok. So tell us what's happened since you did that.
Sure. Before that, I pretty much did the typical CRM leads. And, I typically would help probably 15 to 20 families in a month, sometimes
Right.
30 or 40 if I worked extra hard. Um, but I've also been doing this a long time. I would say my close rate is much higher, than like a new person starting out. But since I started doing IULs, it's like a whole different ball game. I mean, I'd say on average, I'm probably helping 80 to 100 families now in a month, like every single month.
Mm.
And since TikTok, I mean, especially since the last video, that one has gotten roughly 50 to 80,000 views a day since I posted it. I wake up every day, and I already have 50 to 60 emails to check. And throughout the
Is it
end of
just
the,
that one, or you reposted?
no, that's the
Like, is it
same
the same
video.
TikTok or? Oh,
Same video, yeah. So the key is to understanding TikTok's algorithm and figuring out how to beat the algorithm. And that's something I was talking to you about. Like, we've got 23,000 agents, man. We can help each other. We can all go viral. There's so many people out there in the world that need help, and they're looking, like they're actively searching for, how do I save money? How do I get out of debt? How do I not have to pay as much in taxes? Why am I losing money in my 401k? Stuff like that. So if we can create content around that, and we can all help each other by sharing and commenting and tagging and liking and all those things, then we can all definitely go viral and help more and more families.
I love it. And I think, if they're new agents or watching, they don't have experience. Here's the thing. Shannon just told you, use the CRM 15, 20 families a month. You can get started there, get the 30, whatever. I think this is, and this is just my opinion. but it's something that you can learn, right, as
Yeah.
you go. I don't think it's the first step for me.
Oh gosh, no.
I still don't even know about them. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 some years.
Well, first of
So
all, a
for
lot of
me,
these
it's simplified.
policies, a lot of these policies take at least a month. Like I've had some take
Mhm.
3 months to get approved. So if somebody goes out thinking I'm just going to start doing these IUL and IBC things, like you're going to go hungry. Like you know,
Yeah.
you need to help families on a level where you can do a simple mortgage protection or final expense to where you can
Hmm.
help them and make you money too, because these are on a different level. And like I said, they pinned for a while. They have to have paramedics a lot of times. Somebody's got to go to their house, draw blood, pee in a cup, and all that good stuff.
That's interesting you mention that because I got in this industry, this one, and you probably did too, because I didn't know there was such thing as simplified life insurance. I thought we had to go through all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As you probably know, if you know anything about me, I'm very impatient. I talk about annuities. I did two. I did one on me, and I did one on one other person. I thought I'd never do another one, just because it's the impatience of it. So that I would have a hard time with. Like and so I think as a new person, it's something as you get business and you can learn that piece. I think you do it in addition. Just like when people come here, I think ultimately to learn the most, it's to go in the field, to see people in their home. And then if you think telesales is for you, then fine, do would you agree in this hybrid, right?
Oh yeah.
And then if it works and you're doing really good at it, you can do it. I think the telesales for me is someone's disabled, someone, if you're watching this right now and you want to learn what Shannon's doing, reach out to him. You're a single mom at home, you've got, a couple kids. There's something going on where you just can't get out of the house all the time. This is a great avenue. Could you speak about that, like the difference between the two? And, because you've done both, but we're talking to new agents and just, I don't want them to go, hey, I'm going to do that. Like,
Sure.
I'm not saying they don't want to learn it, but there's a process. Like, could you just
Definitely.
talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I like people, and I think your close rate's going to be better if you're face to face with people. So if you're able to get in a car and to go drive to your appointment and meet them, I think you got a lot better chance of one, closing that sale, and two, helping that family, which is what it's all about. But if you're doing it from home, you got to think it's a lot easier to hang up on me than it is to kick me out. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably have to call more people. I think your close rate's not going to be as good, but I think it's very doable. Like I've got an agent that has 6 kids, ranging from like
Mm-hmm.
4 months old to 18. So she has a very nice office in the basement of her house. Her husband's a contractor, so it's very easy for her to build a real nice office down there. But she has to go back and forth between being mom and being agent, and she does a really good job of managing that time. So it is something that's very possible you can do. I know she has to call a lot more leads. Like she's on the phone some days just 8 to 8, and she'll have her mom come help watch kids or whatever, and she'll just have days where she just does nothing but call, like 8 to 8. Whereas for me, I could probably make less calls, go out in the field, or just go door knocking. I mean, I taught somebody that because they just weren't having much luck to getting people to answer the phones in their area, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept saying, my leads are no good. I can't get them. I said, well, let's just go meet them. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, just go show up. We just went knocking on their door. And he was like, that's the best
Yeah.
advice you could have ever given me.
Yeah. Where do you live, Shannon? I don't know if I asked you that.
Yeah, I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Middlesboro, Kentucky.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yep, up in the
Kentucky boy.
Appalachian Mountains.
So you're a Kentucky basketball fan then?
I'm not much of an anything fan. I don't have time for sports.
I got you.
I had a friend call me once. It's embarrassing. I said, he called me. He's like, hey, I've got an extra ticket to the UK game. He's like, you want to go? I hadn't seen him in a while. I said, sure, yeah, let's go. He's like, it's 8 o'clock tonight. Let's meet here and grab dinner. I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to a game with, Anthony. She's like, oh, okay, have fun. I said, so should I dress like warm for outside or like inside? And he said UK. He didn't say if it's football, basketball, underwater basket weaving, polo. Like, I don't know what we're watching.
That's hilarious, dude. Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, well, anyway, but yeah, it consumes your life in some cases. We are busy here. I mean, you may know this, but I'm a big Georgia fan, so I watch, when I can, I watch a game, during Saturdays or whatever if I get a chance. But then I was blessed to go to a couple last year.
With the Bulldogs?
But ultimately, yeah. Yeah, national championship last year, so that was pretty cool. But but again, what we do matters, and so as we count over the next few minutes here, what are some things? Well, two things. One, some things that you would tell a new agent in the beginning to win here at Family First Life. And then after that, they've gotten some experience. And then let's just talk to the other people that are watching this at, hey, what did he do on specifically? Did he do on a TikTok? Maybe what you said, or, some things you're saying once you call them or message them or whatever, how that works out.
Gotcha. Well, I have ADD and it's high definition, so you may have to remind me of the two parts. But part one is, I learned that my first weekend, I went and spent like I think $1,000 in leads, and ever since then I learned, okay, if I buy a batch of leads, I'm going to find some in there that are good and some that are not good. I had somebody tell me I bought 30 leads, I'm like, that's not enough. You could get 30 bad leads. But let's face it, some of the leads are going to be bad. All right. And I tell people, think about baseball cards. All right. When you were a kid, you went to the store, your mom gave you a quarter and you bought, I'm showing my age, but you bought a thing of baseball cards. You might get all just crap cards, but you might get
Yeah.
a rookie or whatever. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know what's going to be in that batch, but the more you buy, the better chance you have of finding them. All you're doing is calling people and you're digging through them and you're finding the ones that actually want your help. So that's part one, is buy leads, call them. These people ask for help. That's why the script is, from studying psychology, our script is so just psychologically sound. When you think like, hey, this is Shannon, I'm just calling you back, right? I'm telling them, hey, you called me, I'm just calling you back. And then, when you took the time to fill this out, what was your primary focus? I'm telling them, hey, you filled this out. I'm not cold calling you. So there's just so much psychology that's built into our script that makes it perfect, that I've never seen at any other company. So if they just follow the system, if they're just dumb enough to follow the system that we've laid out for them, they will do phenomenal.
Right. And you mentioned leads. Like my whole theory is leads a lead, right? Because some of them you knock on the door, right? You mentioned that. So some people hang up, whatever you call them back, it happens. Sometimes it's just a timing thing. For me, I found if I push through, and the whole thing is, would you agree with this? You don't let anybody mess with you. Like you keep moving, and you take control. Like I'd call them back, whatever. I'd say, hey, listen, did we hang up? And they're like, no, I just told you not to call me, whatever. And my point thing would be like, dude, I hope you have a good day. But at the end of the day, if I'm in your neighborhood, I'd love to stop by and see you. I don't give up. I mean, I think that there was some intent there, regardless of what it was, even if there's, 5-year-old granddaughter filled it out. Somebody did. So anyway, so you got that. We buy leads. That's a great thing. We have so many lead sources. And if it's not, the CRM's not working, you got other lead sources. They're everywhere.
Right.
Like we have people to pull from with FFL to learn from and things like that. So, all right, now, we're talking about the guys and gals who are watching this. They've got some experience. They don't know really the first thing about an IUL or even the terminology. What are some, key points that you would say over the next 5-8 minutes, whatever, that you'd like to share with with your TikTok piece? And then just how you're able to do what you do.
Well, so one, I would say start by Googling IUL definition, and you probably find Investopedia will tell you a good definition of what an IUL is, but it's an indexed universal life. So I tell people it's kind of like the child product of a whole life and a term, right? You can get a larger face value and a lower price, like a term, but you also build cash value, and you have a policy that if you set it up right will never expire, like a whole life. So when you mix that together, the index part means that we're going to watch the stock market. We're not actually investing money in the stock market. It's called index because we're watching the stock market. When the stock market does good, you're getting the good. So if it's doing 15%, 20%, great, you're getting that index credit. But when the stock market crashes and does, let's say, -12, you're not going to get the -12. You're going to get a floor of 0, which just means you're not going to lose money. We're going to give you the ups of the market, but we're not going to penalize you when it crashes. And if you can find a good company that has no caps and has a bonus, you can get a 1.65 to 3% bonus. So even when your friends are going, oh, I just lost money in my 401k, you still made 2-3%. So that's what I try to look for customers, and obviously get them qualified for something like that. I think that's pretty much the idea behind the IUL, and what I mainly use them for is a retirement type strategy. So I ask people, do you want access to money now, or do you want, like an awesome retirement plan? Because an IUL is not designed for you to borrow money from it this year, next year, in 10 years. It usually does not have much money that quick. But when you retire, you've put in all this money, let's say $500 a month, you've put into this policy, just like an IRA. Only when you turn, let's say 65 years old, you stop paying in. Now the policy starts paying you back. So, you have to run an illustration to see what that number would be. But let's just say at your age, you're 31 years old, right? Don't answer that. I know. Yeah. So 31 years old, you're putting $500 a month in, you're going to retire with, let's say, $40, $50, $60,000 of tax-free annual income. That's what I use these for. And as far as the TikTok portion of it, I think instead of taking it from a sales approach of everybody needs to buy one of these, they're the best thing out there. The approach is, here's how I can help you. The most recent one I did was on bank-owned life insurance. I just said, hey, here's what the banks are doing with your money. They're taking your money. They're investing in life insurance because it's safe. Look up BOLI, bank-owned life insurance, and you'll see how many banks have how much money, invested. So they're putting their money in it. Waka Flocka came out and he said, man, I used to be stupid. I spend money on everything. Please. He goes, I'm going to buy me an insurance policy. I'm going to put 2 or 3 million in it and I'll never lose my money again. I'll just borrow from that and pay myself back. That's the BYOB, or the become your own bank concept of infinite banking concept. So anyway, when people's wheels start turning about these things, obviously they want to learn more. The TikTok is just designed to give you a 1 to 3 minute quick overview of what this is, and then have them reach out for more. So the key is to beat the TikTok algorithm, though. So whenever I make a post, I'll text my team, here's the video that I just posted. And then they'll all go like it. When they like it, let's call it brownie points. Okay, I get 1 brownie point. But if they leave a comment, I get 20 brownie points. If they save it as a favorite, I get 20 brownie points. If they share it, if they watch it to 90% or better, I get 20 brownie points. All those different things basically increase how many viewers I get. So when I first post it, it goes out to a small little group of my friends. And if they like, comment, share, save, all this stuff, right? Then it goes to a bigger circle of my friends, my followers. All right. So once those people watch it and they like it, and they watch it to the end, they leave comments, save it, share it, all that good stuff. Then it goes out to people I don't know. When those people start watching it and they like it and they watch it to the end and they save it and they comment and they share it and duet with it and all this stuff, then it blows up and it goes viral. So if we can get past that point, and especially with us, we got a huge team. Imagine if you did a TikTok and, you sent that out to your downline and they sent it to their downlines and everybody went and just watched the video. Like it would blow up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on. I'm sure we'll have you on again, and we're super excited about what you're doing. Your team's growing, you're growing. The key is you're helping people, you're making money for your family, and that's what it's all about, right? And you're enjoying what you do.
Oh yeah, I have a blast.
I get early texts in the morning, and Shannon's up early, and he's like, "Hey, this is how many followers I got." He sends a picture of the same thing, but it shows it's kind of crazy. So I'm super excited for you. Love Neil, love y'all's team, Eric, all of y'all. We love being in business with you. But hey, Shannon, they want to get a hold of you, maybe your IG account, and then maybe your phone number. However they get a hold of you, they want to come work with you, have questions.
Yeah, sure. My email address is just Shannon, SHANNON at FFLalphateam.com. And my cell phone is 859-333-3747.
Well, Shannon, we appreciate you being on, taking time today with us. And guys, we appreciate you. Subscribe to Warriors Podcast, by Velocity. We're just trying to get the content out there to help all our agents grow, other people know what's out here. We love Family First Life and what we're doing to help people. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm at Dave Richard, obviously, and then Family First Life. But again, we're proud to be partners with Shannon and guys like him, and we just have a great team. So we'd love to have you. So appreciate you guys being on. Thanks for taking the time today.